Now we are done with the color changing functionality, and let me try to create a number of new nodes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and let me change the colors. Let me select this blue. Let me select this peach. Okay. Now let me try to move this. As it is draggable, let me try to move this. See, it is going below the fourth element. Actually, the currently dragging element should be displayed as the top element. Here it is getting displayed on the top of these two elements, but when I move it towards this side, it is getting displayed below the last element. Likewise, if I select this one and drag it, it is getting displayed below. So what we can do is that jQueryUI's draggable interaction provides an option called stack, which will control the Z index of the currently dragged element and make it as the top element. So let's use that option here. Within this, let me put curly braces and write stack, which is the name of the option, and we need to specify the selector here. So what is the selector? It is the sticky class. So we can specify dot sticky, so that this draggable itself will take care of the Z index of the currently dragged item. Now let's see that. Let me refresh, create 1, 2, 3, 4, change the colors to pink, peach and blue. Now let me try to drag this peach sticky note. See, it is getting displayed on the top itself, right? So we have used the stack option provided by jQueryUI's draggable interaction to control the Z index automatically. Next, suppose I click on a particular sticky note which is now below this peach note. I'm going to click this. Actually, what should happen? This item should be displayed on the top of this one, so that we can enter the values and see it on the top. But it is not getting displayed on the top, so we need to do it from our side. So let's do that. That is, when we click on a sticky note, that sticky note should appear on the top of all other currently existing nodes. So this one should come to the top. And suppose I move this towards this side, and if I click this peach one, this should come on the top. So we need to control the Z index value to make it appear on the top. Let's do that. So we need to implement this on the click of text area, right? So as text area also is created dynamically, we need to implement it like this, that is using event delegation. So here let me specify $container, which is the parent, .on, and the event is click itself. So click, then the element on which we are going to click is text area. So on the click of text area, we need to implement a function which will set the Z index of the current element as the top value. So how we can do that? We actually need to loop through all the sticky nodes, get the Z index of all the items, find the maximum Z index value, and then add 1 or 2 to the current value and set it as the Z index of the currently clicked text area's sticky node. So let me get the Z index. So let me specify var maximum, and let me call a function like get max. Okay, and for this get max function, let me pass dot sticky as the input. So which means it should loop through all the items with class name sticky. So let me write this function get max. After this, let me write function get max. Let me specify the argument as items, and I need to loop through this. So how I can write here? Let me write $items dot each function. So we are looping through the items and we need to get the Z index, right? So here let me write where Z equals $this dot CSS of Z index. This will give us the Z index of the current element, and as it is looping through all the sticky nodes, it will give the Z index of all the sticky nodes. And let me just try to alert it. Okay, now let's see it, because we have called it here get max equals dot sticky. So instead of this, let me just call get max of dot sticky. Now let's save this. Let me refresh. Let me create a number of nodes, 4, and let me click this See, we are seeing auto 1, 2, 3, 4 times because we haven't specified any value for the Z index previously. So here what we can do is, if Z equals auto, here itself we can set Z as 1, okay, and then we need to find the maximum Z value. So here let me create a variable called max with value 0, and how we can set the value max? After this we can specify max equals math dot max of max comma z, which means it will take the maximum value of max and z, which will give us the maximum z index value. Here also let me enter alert z and also max. I just want to see the output here. So here I want to see max as well as z. Now let's save this. Let me refresh. New note, new note, new note. Change the color. Let me click this. See, 1 and 1. Okay, 1 and 1, 1. All the items are now having value 1. Now if I try to drag this and click this, it is giving 0, 0, 1, 1, 4, 4. So 3, 4. So what we need to do, we should return this max value, which will give us the maximum z index value. So let me specify return max here, and we need to collect it here in some variable called var maximum, and this will give us the maximum z index of the existing elements. Next, what we need to do, we need to set the parent of this text area's z index to be more than this one. So how we can get the parent of this text area? We can specify $this dot parent, which will select the parent, then dot css, its z index should be greater than maximum. So I can specify maximum plus 1, right? So this will be having the maximum z index after this statement. Now let's see the output. Let me refresh. Let me click new note 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me change the color. Let me select this, change the color peach, this pink, and let me move this towards this side, and let me click this one. See, it is displayed on the top. And again if I click this one, see, it is getting displayed on the top. So if I move this towards this side, click this one, see, it is getting displayed on the top. So what we have done here, we have set the z index of the currently clicked item as the largest value. So we had to find the current maximum. That is why we have used this getMax function. We have looped through all the sticky nodes, got the z index of each item. As it is auto by default, we made it 1 here, and then found the maximum value and set it in this variable and return this value. So here we are getting the maximum of the current sticky nodes. As the currently clicked element has to get more than that value, we have added 1 here and set it as the z index of this text area's parent. So we have done a number of things here to implement this. We have collected the z index and found the maximum value, then set a z index which is more than that current maximum. So here we are able to click any element we want, which will be displayed on the top. Suppose I click here, this pink one is getting displayed on the top. Now suppose I enter some notes. Let me enter some dummy text. Okay, see, we are seeing a scroll bar here, right? Actually I don't want to display the scroll bar. So what we can do, for the text area, we can specify overflow to be hidden. So what will happen? Let's see, save. Let me refresh. Let me click 2, 3 nodes, pink, peach. Let me move this to this side. Click this. Let me remove this. Enter some text. See, we are not seeing any scroll bar. And if I want to see the item on the top, I can just move the cursor towards the top. What else we need to implement? We can actually make these items resizable. So suppose we specify here before draggable, let me specify resizable as well, so that the sticky notes will be resizable. Let's see that. Save. Let me refresh. Let me click. See, we are able to see the handle. Actually, when we move the handle, the position of the other items are also getting changed. If we don't want that to happen, we have to make these items absolute. Now they are positioned as static by default. But if we don't want to change the position of other items based on draggable items, what we need to do is we need to make these items positioned absolute. And also we have to add the close icon, right? So let's add the close icon now. Here after this text area, let me have a span element with class name UI icon as well as UI icon close. And let me close the span. Okay. Now let's see that. Let me refresh. Let me click a new note. See, it is displayed here. So we need to style it a bit. So here, let me select it. Dot UI icon close. Now let me specify float to be right. And also let me set the cursor to be pointer type. Okay. So here, let me save this. Let me refresh. Let me click. Okay, it is displayed here. What we need to do, we actually need to position this as absolute. That is, the text area needs to be positioned as absolute. And let's see the difference. Save. Let me refresh. Let me click new note. See, it is positioned absolute, so that this close icon is now displayed on the top itself. New note. See, and when we click this, actually what should happen? This one should be closed. So we need to write that as well. Like this, we need to do event delegation. So $hash container dot on, and here the first parameter is click. Then second one is a span element with class name UI icon close, comma, function. And here how we can implement that? We need to select the parent of the current element, right? So $this dot parent, which will select the sticky note, dot remove will remove the currently click close icons parent sticky. So let's see that. Let me refresh. New note, new note, new note. Let me change the color and let me click this. See, it is closed. But if we close this, the other items are relocated. It is because that we need to change the position to be absolute. Let's try to implement that section, that is changing the position to be absolute of these sticky notes, in the next lecture.